So I'm going to be showing you guys a bunch of different stuff. Okay. So I want to start off, who during the Christmas break, New Year's, like who felt lazy during that time, and it's like you just ate too much food and you just felt tired and you're like, I don't even know how the hell I'm going to get started. Like I got so many things I got to organize, like I don't want to do it. Me, you know, bouncing back quick from that break, in my opinion, is super instrumental in your success. So getting started quick, getting it done fast, getting motivated right away is like it's going to kickstart your year. And if you start too late, it could end up killing your momentum. So like the day you get back, you need to do whatever you can to get your mindset back in track. And it's going to require sacrifice. So, all the fun Netflix shows, and this is going to be coming from me. What I do, I take things to the extreme. I'm an extreme guy. Um, you might not be as extreme as me. You may be more extreme than me, but it doesn't matter. You need to be extreme right now. You need to do whatever it takes, and you need to get your mindset right. So if you're feeling tired, you're feeling lazy, you're not eating well, you got to change that right away. All the movies and Netflix shows you used to watch that had nothing to do with business or success, I cut that out. I started watching only motivational movies, only motivational videos, and I only read motivational books. So I cut out all the fluff. Okay. So establishing the right mindset. And we're going to go into more, like, this isn't just going to be about mindset. It's going to be on preparation mostly, because preparation creates mindset and mindset creates preparation, if that makes any sense. So for example, establishing the right mindset, the first thing you want to do, you want to start reading books, listening to podcasts, attending seminars, getting on calls like this that have to do with personal development. So get rid of the fluff, motivational movies, motivational books. You got to re-engage your rhythm. What ends up happening is when you stop working for a period of time, you get out of your rhythm. Your rhythm could mean things like eating properly, going to the gym every day, doing your calls, doing your prospecting. You end up getting out of your rhythm. And when you get out of your rhythm, it's tougher to get back into the rhythm. So you need to be more extreme on what you do. You got to cut everything out that doesn't serve you for business, everything. Um, but you also have to be compassionate that you got off track in the first place. So, I always beat myself up. Like last week, I was super depressed. I'm like, man, I need to get back into my rhythm. I haven't been eating as well, gained a little bit of weight. Like, you have to get back into your rhythm and you got to do whatever it takes. It's time to go all in. And the time for sacrifice is now. Hold on one sec. Somebody's trying to get on here. Sorry, one second. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get somebody in here. Okay. So set clear goals. Now, who here has done their goals so far? Raise your hand. Sorry, I lost something here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do the goals. Okay. So I'm just going to pull up another slide here. There's three things you're going to need to get yourself back on track. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. You're gonna need three things. One is an actual business planning workbook that I'm gonna share with you, okay? The second thing is you're gonna need a habit tracker. And the third thing is you're gonna need a vision statement. Those three things are gonna be the system that's gonna get you back on track. Because the reason most people don't get back on track is because they don't know how to get back on track. Think about it. There's like a system for listing presentations. There's a system for buyer presentations. There's a system for handling objections. But when it comes to mindset and planning, like there's no system, right? It's like you just got to get back into the mindset, but there's actually a way to do it. And there's three things, and those three things I just mentioned. So write that down. Habit tracker, vision statement, business planning workbook. So the first thing I want to go over is the business planner. Can you guys see the business plan for real estate agents 2025 here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm moving it from one thing to another. I'm not super tech savvy, by the way, so just bear with me. Whoever wants one of these or hasn't gotten one already, we did a business planning seminar a few months ago, but obviously not all of you guys were there. There's people here from, Toronto, Kingston, different cities, Quebec. So obviously not everyone got one of these. So if you want one, put your email into the box, in the chat box, okay? So the first thing, purpose. This is how you start everything off. You need a 10-year vision, 5-year vision, and 1-year vision, okay? Now, I'm going to give you guys a cool thing you can do. Take your vision, plug it into AI, and come up with a picture of your vision. So like, let's say you want to have like a Lamborghini and you want to have like, 100 units of real estate. You want to have a family, you want to have 5 kids, whatever it is, plug it in to AI and you can make an actual image of your vision. Okay. So that's a nice little kind of cheat code that I use. But you got to get deeper. So you got to figure out why you're doing what you're doing. And this is going to go back to your vision statement. So in terms of the vision statement, I do one separately. I don't just do it on here. So what I do is I take this thing here. And this is a vision statement, okay? And there's 4 things I put on the vision statement, and this is what I want you to write down. What is your definite chief aim? Remember, this is how you start off your year. What is my definite chief aim? I'm going to give you an example. My definite chief aim is to sell 700 properties in 2025. To have a certain amount of agents in my downline. I want to have a certain amount of passive income by the end of the year. Okay. It doesn't matter what your goal is. Everybody's goal is going to be different, but you got to write down your goal. Okay. So your definite chief aim, number 1. Number 2, when you plan on achieving that definite chief aim, a date. I plan on achieving this definite chief aim by January 1st, 2026, or August 1st, 2025, whatever the date is, however long it's going to take you to achieve that goal. I always do 1-year span, and I've been doing this for 14, 15 years, even before I got into real estate. I've been in real estate 13 years now. I've done it every single year for the last 15 years. It is for sure the reason that I've accumulated, a good amount of success in real estate. If I hadn't have done that, I would not be here 100%. Okay. So you need to have that. So definite chief aim, when you want to achieve it by, the most important one, why you want to achieve it. Why do you want to achieve this goal? Okay. For myself, I know that I am the happiest when I'm on a constant pursuit of personal growth. And the more that I can maintain that, the more I can share it with other people. And when I'm sharing that with other people and I'm helping people achieve their definite chief aim, I am in synchrony with the universe, call it. Okay. It's when I vibrate at the highest level. Now, whatever makes you vibrate at the highest level, now this is kind of going deep. It goes into, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill type stuff, The Secret, whatever you want to call it. But we all vibrate at a certain frequency. And you got to figure out what makes you vibrate at the highest frequency. I vibrate at the highest frequency when I'm not drinking. I'm, going to the gym every day. I'm doing my affirmations every day. I'm reading my mission statement every night and every morning. I'm using my habit tracker. I'm doing specific amount of contacts. I'm helping people. When I'm in that state, I'm vibrating at the highest frequency, and then it rubs off onto other people. So I'm helping change the world in a positive way. That's when I feel the happiest. So you got to figure out what makes you happy and what makes you vibrate at the highest frequency. It could be anything. It could be a bit bigger than that. It could be, you want to make this money because you want to, open up an orphanage or something, or, raise money for cancer awareness, whatever it is. The bigger it is, and the more it becomes not about you, the more it's going to change your life and other people's life and keep you in that rhythm. Okay. Does everyone get that? So now accountability. What kind of accountability are you going to have? Do you have an accountability partner? Do you have a coach? If you're not accountable to somebody else, you got to be accountable to yourself. But I'm going to tell you this. When you're accountable to somebody else, and if you're not accountable to somebody else, put it out to the world. Put the goals out to your world. Okay. I'm going to do 60 deals this year. I'm going to do 40 deals this year, whatever the number is. Let people know about it. And the more you let people know about it, it holds you accountable because you don't want to let other people down and you don't want to look like an idiot at the end of it. So the more I share my goals, and I don't share them because I'm trying to show off. I don't share them because, I'm gloating. It's because I want other people to know that I want to do this and that I'm dedicated to doing it. And if I don't do it, it's not going to look good on me. I'm putting pressure on myself, right? People end up going towards, so people would rather go towards not having pain than having pleasure. So if it's painful for you not to do something, you end up becoming more motivated to do it. I recommend all you guys get an accountability partner. Now, if you don't have a coach and you're on a real estate team or you're a team leader, whatever it is, get an accountability partner. It could be somebody on your team and hold each other accountable. Trust me, it's going to make a massive, massive difference. Commitment. Okay, that goes without saying. I'm going to read this out. Why is achieving your stated goals a must for you? Are you interested, committed, obsessed? You're about to lay out your plan for 2025. You're bridging your future. But a plan without the will to execute is only words on a page. Write a message to yourself and your team leader stating how seriously you are committed to implementing this action plan. Section 3, units and goals. Go back to 2024 and figure out all the listing deals you did and all the buyer deals you did. Where did it come from? Okay. Because this is going to give you kind of like a percentage of where your deals are coming from. And you'll be able to kind of replicate it this year, but just add to it. So one second, I'm going to give you guys an example of one. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll just. Okay. So I'm going to get into more detail on this. I'm going to get one sent to me that I did yesterday. Okay. Units and goals. So go back into your last year's goal deals. Figure out how many goals you did in January, how many you did in February, how many did in March, how many did in April. Okay. Figure out how many deals that is per quarter. What you're going to do is, let's say your goal was to do 20 deals last year and you did 20 deals, but let's say your goal now is, I don't know, 25 deals. Take that percentage difference and multiply it by the amount of deals you did. So for example, let's say I want to do now, let's say I did 2 deals every single month. That's 24 deals total. But let's say now I want to do 3 deals a month. That's a 66% increase. Okay. So you want to go whatever the amount of deals you did is multiplied by 1.66. And that's going to be your new goal for the month. So plug that in. And you're going to put it per quarter. So you can track every single month. You want to write in what your number was for January. And you want to put what the actual number is right here, right beside it. So this is going to be it's a little bit trickier, but I'm going to show you something really freaking cool. Okay. You need to figure out how many conversations you need to have per year, then per month, then per week, then per day to help you achieve your goal. So if you did prospecting last year, you got to figure out, what percentage of listing appointments result in a signed listing agreement? So let's say you go on 10 listing appointments. Out of those 10 listing appointments, what percentage are you actually signing? If it's 50%, you write 50% in there. I'm going to show you guys how to do the math because it's freaking easy and it's called using AI. So you don't have to do the math yourself. What percentage of signed listings close? So let's say you get a listing, you put on MLS. What percentage, and you can figure this out, like go back, figure out how many listings you did and how many listings sold. It's simple. And then you find out the percentage. Let's say it's 80%. You plug that in. What percentage of buyer consultations result in a buyer agreement? Now, typically this is a little bit higher than the listing. In my opinion, if you go on a buyer presentation and they come to your office and you do a buyer presentation, because the service is completely free, you typically have a bit of a higher percentage of signing the buyer agreements than the listing agreements. Just a little food for thought. What percentage of signed buyer agreements close? So once you sign that buyer rep, what percentage turn into an actual sale? You can figure that out too. How many conversations do you have per closed transaction? This is where it gets tricky, and I'm going to show you how to figure that out. On average, how many conversations per hour of power do you have? So when you sit down and you start prospecting, how many people can you talk to within that hour? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 5? Is it 6? I'm not talking about dials. I'm talking about conversations about real estate. How many conversations can you have? How many days in a week do you tend to prospect? Is it 5? Is it 4? Is it 3? Put that in. How many weeks a year are you planning to take off? 2 weeks, 4 weeks? So plug all that in. And based on all those numbers, you're going to take it, you're going to plug it into AI, and it's going to give you all you need to know. So let's do that right now. So this is cool. So I go to AI, ChatGPT, and I write, let's say you need to do 20 buyer transactions and 16 seller transactions in a year for real estate. Let's say 30%, and I'm taking these numbers from what I wrote down, okay? So in this case, 30% of listing appointments result in a signed listing agreement. 80% of signed listings close. 60% of buyer appointments result in a buyer agreement. And 60% of buyer agreements close. You need 10 conversations to get one buyer or seller appointment. How many conversations would you have to hit your year-end goal? Enter. Let's see what comes up. To calculate how many conversations you need to trigger 20 buyer transactions and 16 seller transactions. Step 1, signed listings needed. Seller transaction closing rate, 80%. Seller transaction goal, 16. So you need 20 signed listings to get 16 transactions from listings. Okay. Now, if only 30% are actually signing, the math is here, listing appointments needed. You need to go on 67 listing appointments to do 16 seller transactions in the year. Okay. It's more than you think it is, because if only 30% are signing with you, then you just got to go on way more. It's all math. Real estate is math. Success in real estate is numbers. You need to know your numbers. And if you follow this, you're going to get your result. You know, people complicate real estate way too much. Way, way, way too much. It's literally having conversations with people, going on appointments with people, setting the appointment, then going on the actual appointment. And when you go on the appointment, getting an actual listing agreement, so listing agreement signed, putting it public and getting a sale out of it. But the numbers all work backwards. And it all starts with the conversations. So therefore, if conversations needed for appointment are 10, conversations for sellers minus listing appointments needed times conversions per appointment, you need to have 670 conversations with sellers with 670 sellers in a year to get 16 actual deals done through sellers. Okay. Now let's go to buyer transactions. Buyer transactions needed. You get 60% closing ratio. Buyer transactions goal, 20. So I need 34 buyer agreements to get 20 deals on the buyer side, which means I need to go on 57 buyer appointments to get that. So if I do 50, if I sit down with 57 buyers, okay, I'm going to get 20 buyer transactions. If I want to get those appointments, I need to talk to 570 buyers. Sounds like a lot, but it's not, because when you break it down per month and per week and per day, it doesn't really look like that much. So let me just pull my calculator up. If I need to do 570 conversations with buyers in a year, okay, and I divide that by 12, that's 47 a month. Okay. That's 11 a week. Okay. Now, if I divide that by 5, because let's say you're prospecting 5 days out of the week, that's only 2. So you only need to have conversations with 2 people a day for buyers. It's not that much anymore. But you need to stay consistent. The problem is, real estate agents, what they do is they'll work 1 week and then they don't work the other week. And then they work 1 week and then they take 2 weeks off. Then they work 1 week and they take 3 weeks off. Then they work 2 weeks in a row. Then they take 1 week off. And eventually that number 2 really turns into 0.3 conversations a day. So if you're not consistent, your average shoots down super fast, because anytime you take an average with a big number and you add a 0 for the next week, you cut that number in half every single time you take time off. So 2 conversations a day doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot if you're not consistent. So consistency is everything. You've got to do it every single week. And if you're not going to do it every single week, you need to figure out how many weeks you're actually going to do it, but then the number per day of conversations is going to have to go up, right? So be true to yourself. And that's why the most important question is, how many days a week are you going to prospect? And be real with yourself. Because if it's 5, the number is going to be low. But if you're realistically only going to prospect, 2.5 days a week, that number gets cut in half. And then the number looks a little bigger. And now you have to start having 4 conversations a day. Or if you're only going to prospect 1 or 2 days a week, then you're going to have to prospect even more than that. You're going to have to talk to 8 people a day. So be realistic with how many days you're actually going to prospect. And whatever number you write there for how many days a week you're going to prospect, stick to it. So if you don't think you can do 5 days a week of prospecting, cut the number in half. It's okay. You're just going to have to do more in that shorter period of time. It's all math. Here's the cool part. Total conversations needed. Total conversations needed. If you want to achieve both of these seller goals, buyer and seller goals, you need to have 1,240 conversations. Okay. Now, here's the even cooler part. Go back to AI, say, based on this information, if I were to prospect 2 hours a week, and during every hour, I'm able to connect with I'm able to have 4 conversations. Let's call it 5. 5 conversations. How many conversations per day would I have to achieve this goal? Enter. Comes up with it for me. If you plan to prospect 2 hours per week with 5 conversations per hour, like this is a number you probably couldn't figure out on your own. That's why AI is a great tool to figure out your goals. So now that it's 2 days a week, to achieve your goal within 1 year, you need to have approximately 4 conversations per day every day. Alternatively, you can increase your weekly prospecting hours to reach required number. It's even given me like, okay, well, if you increase it per, it's telling me like, increase it per week. So now if I increase it to 4 hours a week, it's only going to be 2 a day. So, I mean, I was doing this before AI came out, and I kind of figured it out on my own, but we have this amazing program now that can make your goals for you and break it down using math. So I challenge you guys to do this, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, if you think that only posting on Instagram or only posting on Facebook is going to help you get 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 transactions, you're wrong. It's going to help your branding. It's going to help you get leads. But if you don't physically call those people and talk to them and reach out to them, they don't exist. All real estate is conversations with people that are looking to buy or sell. The other stuff is lead gen. Generate the lead through open houses, generate the lead through internet marketing, generate the lead through prospecting for sale by owners, expireds, doesn't matter, for rents. There's a million different ways to generate leads. And when you generate the lead, you got to talk to the lead, and that's the conversation. You need to have 2 to 4 of those a day to hit your goal, whatever that goal may be. Now, you got to work that number out yourself because everybody here has different goals. Before I move on, does anybody have any questions on that? So if you're a team leader or you coach people or whatever, this is a great tool to use to figure out using a math what the person needs to do. And if you're a team leader or a coach, all you need to do is hold people accountable to those numbers. So you sit down, say, okay, well, your goal at the beginning of the year when we planned it out in 2025 was that you were going to have 1,240 conversations. We figured out that you're going to do 4 hours of prospecting a day. That's 2 buyer conversations and two listing conversations. Now, tell me, last week, how many of those people? How many people did you talk to? I talked to 20 people. Perfect. That's 5 days a week times 4 people. That's 20 conversations. Now, the next week, how many conversations did you have? How many conversations did you have? How many conversations did you have? How many appointments did you go on? How many appointments were set and how many were actually gone on? Then you know your cancellation rate. How many agreements were signed? Now you know your ratio based on how many appointments you went on versus how many were actual signed. Okay, out of those, how many sold? So figure out, know your ratios. Whether you're a team leader or you're a real estate agent, you need to know these ratios because without knowing those ratios, you're just kind of like guessing. You need it to be systemized and you need to know exactly what your numbers are. That is your job. A real estate agent's job is to have conversations with buyers and sellers, period. That's it. And if you're not having enough, you're not going to get enough results, period. It's that simple. Now, it's simple, but it's not easy, if that makes any sense. Calling people is simple because you know what you got to say, you know the scripts, but it's not easy because you got to motivate yourself to fucking do it, right? Now, how do you motivate yourself? This is what I'm telling you. Habit trackers, vision statements, and having a definite chief aim through the 2025 business plan. Move on. So now, habit tracker. Here it is. Whoever wants one, let me know, and I'll send it over to you. So I have my habit tracker, and I attach it. I have a business planner. See that? Daily habits tracking log. I still do it. I attach it to my agenda. I'm old school. I like writing shit down, right? A lot of you guys don't do it. That's fine. Put your habit tracker beside your bed, put it in your office. Doesn't matter where it is. Just have one. It's going to hold yourself accountable. And if you want to take it a step further, share it with somebody else and watch each other's habit tracker. So I'm going to tell you some of them that I have. And this isn't anything that you have to do, but I'm just telling you what I do. So out of bed, 7:30 a.m., make bed, cardio, pray, read my mission statement. That's my morning routine. Do the cardio first, then pray, then read the mission statement. I've talked about this before. It taps into your spiritual energy, your physical energy, and your mental energy. Okay. At office, 9 a.m., 5 contacts, no alcohol, no gambling. I like the sports bet here and there, so quitting that. It's not good. In bed before midnight, 2 workouts, drink minimum 3 liters of water, 30 minutes of reading. So as I go on throughout my day, I check off all this stuff. Check, 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 check. Eventually becomes a habit. Now, that could take 30 days, it could take 45 days, it could take 20 days. Regardless of it, continue to use it, and then you're just going to do it anyways. So hold yourself accountable to this. I also have some notes here. During cardio, I listen to audiobooks, motivational audiobooks, or audiobooks on real estate, audiobooks about business. Okay. When I'm at the gym now, audiobooks. I'm not listening to music. I'm listening to audiobooks. So now this might sound extreme, but if you want extreme results, you need to do extreme things. You need to have extreme habits. Now, if you're not going to do this all year, that's fine. But I challenge you to do this month because it's going to give you the momentum that you need for the rest of the year. So I'm going to be honest with you. I go through periods of extreme performance and it lets me ride for a little bit. So I'll go crazy. Like I'm doing 75 hard over the next 3 months, which is like an extreme way to live. Like no cheat meals, no alcohol, no nothing. Like, but in that 3 months, I will get more done and I will set myself up more than somebody will do in a full year of not doing it. It's extreme activity for 3 months. And when that 3 months is over, do you think you're just going to go back to living like a bum? You're not, because you're going to have built those habits in those 3 months, and you're going to maintain that for another 2-3 months. And then maybe for a month or two, you might get out of your rhythm, but who cares? If you went 6 months in full rhythm, even if a month happens where you're out of rhythm, it's not a big deal, because in that 6 months prior, you've accomplished so much that you can relax a little bit. And then when you figure out that, oh shit, I'm out of my rhythm again, you get back on track. But if you didn't do that extreme habit seeking for those prior 3 months, you're going to be not going to be in a good place. So I like to go the extreme route where it's like, I know I need to be focused. I go extreme for like 3 months straight and I let it ride. So if anybody wants a habit tracker, send me the habit tracker. Okay, so what have we gone over so far? We've gone over the 2025 business planner. We've figured out how many conversations you need to hit your goal. Write those things out. Okay. Second thing, get your habit tracker. Write out all those things that you're going to do. Check mark them as the day goes on. The third thing you're going to do is you're going to have your vision statement. So there's 4 things to the vision statement. I didn't go through all of them. First one's your debt, because I got sidetracked. First one's your definite chief aim, when you want to accomplish it by, why you want to accomplish it, what you're going to do to accomplish it. And where do you get that number? Your business planner. I need to have 1,240 conversations this year in order to achieve that goal, which I will do. Read that out. Okay. That's your what. And then the most important one is what you're willing to give back. Now, why that's important is because what you put out to the universe will come back to you. So for me, for example, what I'm willing to give back, all the knowledge that I acquire going through this mission statement, I'm going to give back to people. So for example, right now, I'm living out my mission statement because one of them is giving back the knowledge that I've acquired. I don't want to be selfish about it. I don't want to keep it for myself. I want to give it for free. And by giving it for free, I'm putting it out to the universe that I'm a giver, that I'm doing a selfless act, and it comes back to me. But you got to do it first in the first place. So quickly again, definite chief aim, when you want to accomplish it by, why you want to accomplish it, what you're willing to do, 1,240 conversations, 4 conversations a week, 8 conversations a week, whatever that number looks like, write that in there. And what you're willing to give back. I'm willing to give back the knowledge that I've acquired during this process to anybody that's willing to accept it. Just an example. Read that out every single day, every morning, and every night. Because when you read it before bed and in the morning, it gets embedded into your subconscious mind. Any questions on that? Okay. Who wants a copy of these things? Let's go to the chat. Oh, lots of people. Awesome. I'm just going to take a picture of these in case when this thing shuts off. Okay, so everyone that wants it, I'm going to send it for free. Okay, let's see what else we got here. This is a little off track, but you got to figure out what types of prospecting you're going to do. Sphere of influence. Do you have a plan where you're going to reach out to past clients, family, and friends for referrals? How do you ask for that business? It's simple. You just ask. Hey, it was a pleasure doing this deal with you. Just curious, who do you know that could also use my help that's looking to move in the next month, in the next few months, or in the next 6 to 9 months? Who do you know? You got to be asking these people all the time. Ideally, 33 times a year you want to be, it's called the 33 touch system. 33 times a year you want to be reaching out to your past clients. Now, whether that's through email, whether that's through dropping off a freaking pumpkin on Halloween, whatever it is, you want to be talking to your sphere, touching them 33 times a year. It's been said that out of every 14 people, if you talk to them 33 times a year that have bought or sold with you, you will get one referral. Whether that's them or whether that's one of their family or friends or people they work with. Other prospecting, cold calling, expired listings and FSBOs. Are you doing that? These people are putting their hands up and they're saying, I want to sell. I'm just trying to do it on my own, or the last agent didn't do a good job. Amazing people to go after. Social media engagement, share valuable content, interact with your audience on platforms. Are you adding every single person you've done a deal with or signed a listing agreement with? Are you adding them to your Facebook or your Instagram? Now, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, I want to stay private. Why? Why do you want to stay private? Is it just a limiting belief that you have? Some of the best real estate agents, I mean, some of them are private and they still do very, very well. But if you were to add that and add everybody to Facebook and add everybody to Instagram and have them see what you're doing, you're going to get more referrals, period. It's a way for them to keep seeing you, always be in their face. Community events. Another thing I want to mention is one of the things that have really made a difference for me has been going to different events. I try and go to every EXP event. I go to every real estate event I can possibly go to. That's helped me tremendously. Why? Because not only is it the stuff I learned there, but I meet new people, some that are doing better than me, some that aren't. It doesn't matter. And I'm getting new ideas. It's motivating me throughout the year. So, you know, you may be thinking to yourself, like, oh, shit, I don't want to spend $1,000 to go to this event. But you're actually, it's more expensive if you don't go. Because what's $1,000 really? What are you making per transaction? I don't know, $8,000, $10,000 a transaction. And you're telling me that $1,000 to learn more information and get motivated is too expensive. It's too expensive not to go. So to the people that are saying, you know, they can't go because just go. You're going to make that money back plus. Invest in yourself. $1,000 is nothing. But not learning something that could have changed your life, that's expensive. So buy that book, go to that community event, go to that real estate event. It'll change your life. Or it may not, but there's usually one piece of information that I gain from every single event that I go to that I implement. So don't think it's too expensive. It's too expensive not to go. Proper open houses. What do I mean by proper open houses? I mean, using that open house as a prospecting tool. Door knocking beforehand, door knocking the expireds beforehand around that area, door knocking the for sale by owners around that area beforehand. Use the open house. Don't just show up and hope people are going to come to you. Go to them. Door knock. Hey, we're having this wonderful open house. It's it's 2 streets down. It's going to be an unbelievable open house. It's explain the house. It's a 4-bed, 2-story unit. It's about 3,000 square feet. We'd love for you to come by. Okay, yeah, we'll try and come by. Absolutely. Hey, just curious. Have you ever thought about moving? And then you get into that conversation. Well, who do you know that's looking to move? Don't be afraid to do this kind of stuff. When people see that, they see aggressiveness. When people list homes with people, they want an aggressive, strong agent, right? Build that connection with everybody that you door knock. That's a proper open house. Do you have a CRM system? Do you have a calendar? Do you have scripts and templates for everything? Digital marketing, content marketing, email campaigns. Do you have drip campaigns for your past clients? If you don't, set one up. Paid advertising, Facebook ads, Google ads, sales funnels, offline marketing, building a personal brand. Okay. Use social media to build a personal brand. Now, the last thing, and I don't want to go into too much about it, budgeting and financial planning. You need to set aside 25 to 30% of your deals for taxes. I've seen so many people screw themselves because they don't pay their taxes. They don't put the money away. Then at the end of the year, they're scrambling to pay their taxes. Every check you get, put 25% away. Role playing. So if you think about it, do you ever see like a basketball player play a game without warming up? No. Every single person or professional athlete, there's two things that they do really, really well. And it's the same thing for real estate. Number one, they know their numbers. They know how many points they have per game. They know their plus minus. They know what their shooting percentage is. Professionals know their numbers. That's why in pro sports, they know everything about the player. Shots on goal, plus minus, how many assists they had, how many goals they had, right? That's what determines how good they are. Now, amateurs, they don't know those numbers. So would you rather be a professional athlete or would you rather be an amateur athlete? Would you rather be a professional real estate agent or an amateur real estate agent? That's the first thing that sets the pros apart from the amateurs in sports and in real estate. Professionals know their numbers. So you got to ask yourself the question, are you professional or are you an amateur? Do you know your numbers or do you not know your numbers? That's the first thing. The second one is, are you practicing before the game? Professionals practice before the game. Are you role-playing your listing presentation with other agents? Are you role-playing your buyer presentation with other agents? Are you role-playing objections with your other agents? Before I would go on a listing appointment, I would sit down with another agent and I'd be like, start throwing objections at me. And they'd throw them at me and I'd handle them. I would do the listing presentation with them. Then I would go on the listing presentation. I was already warmed up. And by the time I got there, there's nothing they could have said that wouldn't get me to sign them because I had practiced before. I was warm. When you're warm, you've already done it right before, you're going to do a better job. It's going to come quicker. You're going to get more points. Right? So practice before the game. Role play before the game. Starting to run out of time here. That's okay. 1 second. Just a few more. Create a business plan, which you've done. Review market trends. Send out an email to your clients with the market trends. Let them know about the market trends. Okay. Time block. Hugely important. During that prospecting time, you do nothing else. Nothing else. You're not looking at Instagram. You're not doing anything. You're time blocking. And most importantly, you're not taking other appointments. The biggest mistake people make is somebody will call them, oh, I want to go see this house. And it's between 10 and 12. And that's your prospecting time. What's the answer? Oh, sorry, I have a meeting. Can you do 1 or 2 instead? Your prospecting time is the most important time. It's your time. It's not other people's time. Don't get horny because all of a sudden somebody wants to see a house. You need to respect your time. And prospecting is what's going to get you to your goal, not going on that showing last minute when, they could have done another time. Time block your prospecting time. It is sacred time. Do not do anything else during that time. Mindset maintenance throughout the year. Celebrate small wins. Join accountability groups or hire a coach. Stay healthy. You got to maintain work-life balance to prevent burnout. And when you go on these other trips, on conferences, you want to network with other agents to share strategies. Don't just go there to party, go there to learn. That's the summary. So that's it, guys. It's been a little over an hour, and I hope you learned something. So I challenge you to do 3 things. I challenge you to get the business planning done, know your numbers, get a habit tracker set up, and get your mission statement done. You do all those things today, all 3 of them. I guarantee you're going to be a different person when you wake up tomorrow. How do I know that? Because I did it on Monday, and before Monday, I felt like a piece of shit, and I didn't know what I needed to do. But now I know exactly what I need to do. Why? Because I did those 3 things. I'm not a genius. I just did the system that gets you in the right mindset. There's a system for mindset, just like there's a system for everything else. So if you ever feel like you're out of your rhythm and you're depressed or you don't know what you want to do and oh God, just do those 3 things and it's going to put you back on track. It's going to get your mind right. Okay. Any questions, guys? So to the people that have their emails in here, I'm going to send you guys all that stuff. Cool. Peace, guys.
Thank you.
Let's have a huge year.
Thanks, man.
And we're doing Evolve event's going to be in March, so stay tuned for more information on that. There's a lot of cool things happening. All right. And for the people that are within our group, if other people are looking to join our organization, you let me know and I'll help you out with that too. Okay. Have a good day, guys.